Hey everyone, this is Matt Lopez from the Daily Trade. I'm here to bring you the TDT Options Activity Bot tutorial, as many need it when they're coming into the daily trade and you just want to know what's going on and how to actually improve your trading skills and use this to your ability when you're here with us. So to start off, I want to show you the channels that we actually have. And the channels that we actually have within the TDT channels are AI signals, golden signals, unusual activity, sweep signals, equity signals, and unique signals. Though the only ones I'm going to cover in the first part and more in depth are these: the golden signals, the unusual activity, and the sweep signals. And I'm going to give you an example, and I'm also going to show you what it looks like when you're actually trading as well. And then I'll go into the rest later on. So here's an example of one of the sweep signals. Now these sweep signals come in to the golden signals, unusual activity, and the sweep signals. So they'll always look like this in these three channels. Now what the difference is between where it gets sent to is the way it's actually outlined. And I'll cover that just in a bit. So golden signals is where those are the most predictable. Those are most of the time, about 95% and above, very effective and will work. Unusual activity is you're pretty much waiting for something to happen, or it's a huge thing that's happening in the market. It's a market mover. It's a money. You're following the money basically in the market. Sweep signals, you're just seeing what's moving along, how many are going through the market and how many are being picked up. So these are pretty much by hedge funds, big, huge players in the market, and it's very useful to see where the money's at in the market when you're trading. So to cover it off, I'm going to go through each one and actually show you what each one means. So the first one, date. Obviously, this is when it actually came in. So January 2nd, 2020 is when it came in. The expiration, the next day. And this is where it gets harder. So you have to figure out where the expiration is at from where your date is. And usually when they're closer expiration, that means sometimes they're more than likely going to have a very fast reaction, and it's not going to be prolonged where you have to wait for something to happen. It's usually about that time, so it's pretty good to get into these. And spot is where it was bought at. So let's say AMD is at $47.10, and then it moves up to $47.13. They just bought it at $47.13. And that's where they bought it at. So you can kind of reference that when you're looking at a chart. Oh, they bought it at this point, and then I'll go over the time later. This is how much their total trade was. They bought it in total of all the contracts that they bought it in total of $34,000. And that's what the premium is. Their time is here, and that is what time they actually got it at. And that's where it really comes into reference with the spot and where they bought it at. So bought it at and the time is perfect for looking at charts, and that's what you really have to look at. Strike price. This is what you're looking at just to make sure that you're getting in at the right one on the contracts. And you're also trying to see it on a chart as well, depending on which one it is. Like unusual, you'll usually have farther out strike prices, and that's because you're expecting a bigger move. But this one was right at the money, so you could already anticipate it was just wanting to follow the money. Details. 275 at 1.24. This means the contracts, how many contracts are being bought at that certain price, and that price is the premium paid for it. So 275 at $124 is $34,000, and that's what the total premium is. So the details is just how many contracts, which is the 275, at their price that they bought it at. So pretty much like the way we're alerting in our channels, this is how much, or this is what the details are explaining. The 1 to 100 rank, this is pretty much showing you what type of rank it is to the market and how it affects the actual movement. So if it's just if it's below 50 in the sweep signals, not much you can really do off them. You're trying to look for the more above 60 mark, because those are the ones that are going to be moving a lot faster. They're going to be the ones that are going to bring the more profitable trades in. But these types of trades lower than 50 you're still getting some good movement, and you just have to follow the charts. You can't follow these blindly when trading with sweep signals. You have to be able to look at the charts, analyze it, see where the money's at, and follow it. You can't just be a blind follower. You have to go into it and actually find it, do your due diligence, check it for yourself, and then play it. And if you get it good, you're good. But there's many plays like this that come in, and you want to make sure that you're getting in. So the rank doesn't always matter. Just make sure that you're doing your due diligence and following the money. The ticker symbol, this is obvious. This is what type of what stock you're trading. So AMD, SPY, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, any of those. That's what it's going to be here, and that's what you type in, obviously, to Robinhood, to your Tastyworks, to Thinkorswim, to your charts. That's what you type in to actually find that stock. So that's your ticker symbol. Calls or puts, obvious. This is what they're buying. If they're expecting it to go up, it's your calls. If you're expecting it to go down, it's your puts. So that's what that is. The type, the sweep. So sweep, that's where it's going to be in these channels. So the type sweep is going to be in the sweep channel, unusual is going to be in the unusual, and golden is going to be in the golden signal. All right, and a sweep is pretty much those big players that are coming in and buying on multiple exchanges and just buying in chunks, and that's what it is. And then the sectors, so like there's a tech sector, there's the medical sector, there's all the industrial sector, there's multiple sectors, and you don't really have to pay attention to this one. It depends on which sector is moving. So if you get a bunch of tech sectors, obviously the technology sector is going to be moving, right? So you want to follow the money and make sure it's in the right sector that you're probably trading that day. So it's a big one. And let me show you from this call out that happened. Let me show you an example of where it's at. So this is AMD. And this is the day that it was trading. That call sweep came in right there at the 5:38 mark, 5:38 a.m. Alaska Standard Time on January 2nd, 2020. And that came in at the 47.13 mark. And so let's go ahead and look at this real quick. So you see that it bought at 47.13. They had the expiration of 1/3/2020. They bought it on January 2nd. And this is around that same time on the 5-minute ticker. It's around the same time, 2 minutes after it. And so you can see that it came in at that time. You see the volume rising in the morning, and you're pretty much doing your due diligence, seeing that it came off the 34 MA right there. That's where I'm looking at. And you can obviously see that there's some movement in the market, and it's pushing it forward. So this would have been a good play because it's bouncing off that 34 MA, and you can see it hitting that next resistance line. And that's where this play was a perfect play for going into, because you could obviously check the sweep signal and then you could check your chart and you're like, okay, this is a perfect play. So going off that, you just want to make sure you're not following in blindly, because you can sometimes get messed up. These aren't always direct plays. They're sometimes just covering for, or they're hedging, what I should say is hedging for a position that they have larger than this actual signal. So in reality, you want to make sure you're always doing your due diligence and paying attention to the charts, your indicators, your resources that you have available to you. Don't underestimate them. So this is where everything comes in. And then to move forward, your smart tracker on your AI signals. Your AI signals goes to your smart tracker, which is just where you're actually getting called out. Oh, okay, Snapchat right here, which is a symbol. Snapchat is going long, so you just buy in. This is regular stock trading. This isn't really option trading. You're just looking at, these are really good buys for the future. So these are better for regular stock traders if you want to get into these and just hold for the long. And so equity signals, which is up in the top right, equity blocks and dark pool prints. These are the big buys on the actual stocks themselves. So you can see the quantity, the spot, the money that they bought it at, and the ticker, the time, the date. So these I don't really want to go into depth just because they're not the ones that we usually play off of. You can also, these are just pretty much telltale signs of what's going on in the market and who's buying what. And then unique signals is pretty much the indexes. So like SPY, VIX, IWM, all these different ones that you can check in the unique signals. and those are what tells the market. So that's where all this actually comes in to combine a perfect resource in the daily trade that you can use to your advantage. And I suggest using it. It's a very good telltale sign of where you're going to move in the market, and many tickers, so that you're not just waiting there for something to move in the market. You're left behind somehow. These are always good to use, and I suggest coming to the daily trade if you want to check it out. We are always welcome to anybody that wants to check these out. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Matt Lopez. I am in the daily trade. I am the owner, and if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead down below and subscribe. Do anything you want here. This is for you to ask questions and get some hands-on with some more trading. So once again, thank you guys for watching this, and hopefully you can use this in the future to your advantage.